Welcome back. We are continuing our education theme right here on this Tuesday. And right now, Jennifer Billow is here from the Park City Education Foundation. Jen, we appreciate you joining us virtually today.
Thank you for having me.
So if someone isn't quite familiar with the Education Foundation, I'd love to hear a little more about what you do and also primarily why we need an Education Foundation right here in Park City.
Right. A lot of people have questions. Why does a public school district need an education foundation? We have taxes that pay for education, right? But frankly, Utah is the lowest funded public education system in the country. So that means we get the lowest per pupil funding, lower than Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico. I think we're 51st. And then the other piece is that 96% of our state collected taxes for education, state of Utah funds education with state income taxes, 96% of those leave and go to other districts. So we really have a funding deficit, and that is why the Park City Education Foundation exists, to fill in those gaps and make sure our kids have the education that they deserve. And we've been doing it since 1986.
And not only do you want the students here at Park City School District to reach their full academic potential, another goal as well within the Education Foundation is to help students reach their lifelong potential.
Absolutely. You just said our mission hit the nail on the head. So we don't just want kids to have a great education and do everything they can to have the education that they can get in the Park City School District. We want them to be able to have the foundation to go out and do anything that they want to do, follow their passions, their desires, and make sure that they're prepared to do that. And the school district does an amazing job doing it. The high school is fantastic. We are a partner with them, and we get to add on the things that perhaps make that difference. So for instance, robotics just came back from the state championships this weekend, and one of the teams had a world record robotics score. So robotics is incredibly expensive. That's one of the programs we help fund. Debate is another one. So all those things that help kids get ready for college and beyond.
And in fact, you have 2 virtual events coming up to also help with this.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the main things I wanted to talk about today. So we do have 2 really cool events coming up. The first one is April 29th. And for this event, we are going beyond college graduation. So it's called Park City High School Grads, Where Are They Now Beyond College Graduation? And we're kind of focusing this event on kids who went out of state or possibly to highly selective schools. So I think a lot of people in the community may not realize that we send almost half of our kids go to out-of-state schools, and then a decent percentage get in every year to highly selective schools. And it's really pretty stunning coming from a public school, how well our kids are prepared for that. Or even out-of-state schools that maybe the school themselves isn't quite as selective, but the major they're applying to is incredibly selective. So like Cal Poly's engineering program comes to mind, where that's an incredibly selective and hard program to get into, and the high school sends kids there every single year. So this event on the 29th at 7 p.m., we are focusing on 6 grads. So all the way, one, Jesus Loya graduated in 2000, all the way to my daughter, Emily Billow, who graduated from the high school in 2017. There's 6 kids in between, mostly for the last 10 years. So you can see them up on the screen there. And so they have all graduated from college, and they're all pursuing really cool, incredible things. So one young adult, he went to Stanford, and he authors a math YouTube channel with 3.5 million subscribers. So I'm sure his parents did not imagine that that was going to be the career for him, but he has carved that out. Another young woman went to Harvard. She created her own major at Harvard because they didn't quite have what she wanted. And she now works for a nonprofit sustainable food lab. And then this fall, she's going to Beijing to get her master's in the Schwarzman Scholars Program, which is one of the most prestigious master's programs in the world, and as well as various other things these kids are doing. So you can go to our website or our Facebook page to find the link to register. It's free, but it is a Zoom event, so you need to register 7 to 8 p.m. and learn about these 6 young adults who have made a really interesting and different way in the world. The second event we have coming up, that is with our Bright Future students. So that's on May 3rd. It's at 6 p.m. Again, go to our website or Facebook page to find the link to register. Our Bright Futures kids, those are kids that are the first in their families to go to college. These are kids visiting the USU campus a couple weeks ago. And Bright Future starts with these kids. They apply at the end of ninth grade, and then we mentor and help them all the way through college graduation. Low income first generation kids have only an 11% graduation rate. So we want to change those odds in Park City and stay with them all the way through high school. So 20 Bright Future seniors are graduating from Park City High. And on May 3rd, which is College Decision Day, they're going to announce their college decisions and talk about the challenges, the obstacles, but also the great and exciting things about reaching their dream of going to college.
So really two great virtual events. I'm always so impressed to hear more about the students that have graduated from Park City High School and are doing amazing things, and also great to hear more about the Bright Future program. So just in case anyone has any questions about those two events, where should they go? What can they do?
Absolutely. So they can either go to our Facebook page and look under the events tab, or they can go to our website and also look under the events tab. We do have a tab now under that events one called virtual events. We added that last year. And right on that virtual events page is all the information, who the panelists are, again, the Zoom link to register. And our website is PCEF, the number 4kids.org, or the Facebook page is at PCEF 1986.
And one of our favorite events here in Park City is Running with Ed. It's right around the corner. Very excited that it is happening this year. We will be talking more about that event next week on the show specifically. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear some updates about this big race.
Yeah, absolutely. Very exciting. So we are kind of putting the plans together a little bit on the fly. But one of the new pieces that we're excited about is for the finish party, we couldn't do the big start and finish at the field house with 1,500 people. So as we've talked about before, we're doing the staggered starts, the 6 starts at the 6 schools across Park City to keep things spaced out and safe. And so we're working on a tailgate at the Canyons Cabriolet parking lot. We're going to call it a Vail Gate because Vail is our presenting sponsor and they've been such a great supporter. And so it will be really low key, bring your car, bring your cornhole. We'll have music playing. We will have some treats to hand out. We'll have sponsors there with giveaways. Just got off the phone with Westgate. I think they might offer yoga class and massage, but all outside, socially distanced, but super fun, still coming together as a community to celebrate our teachers and students and to kind of go phew after a really tough year that the school district has done an amazing job keeping us open all year long, and we want to celebrate that.
And how does Running with Ed fit into your goals with the foundation and fundraising? Where does that money go towards?
Absolutely. So our goal for Running with Ed every year is $250,000. And if you think about every year, we invest back into the school district $1 million to $1.5 million. That is a huge chunk. That's $250,000. So it's a big piece of that. And the funding we raise through Running with Ed goes right back into programs the next school year. So you might recall last year we had to cancel it as so many events were canceled last year. And that really did hurt. Fortunately, the community stepped up and private donations came in to help cover everything for this year. But now we're back. And so if running isn't your thing, I will say there is one leg that is only 1.2 miles. So I think anyone can do this, but if really running is not your thing, you can simply go to runningwithed.com and make a donation to help us hit that 250,000 goal. Every donation, it all adds up and it makes a difference. And that really is a great way to show support for your teachers and our schools that have done so much for us this year. That's a great way to give back to them. And then I also want to do a shout out to all our sponsors. So PCTV being one of them. I know you guys will be out there on the course filming and I saw that commercial at the beginning of this segment, which is so great. And that kind of sponsorship is so helpful, and so many businesses in the community have stepped up to give us a great base of funding and sponsoring. And so I hope people will take a look at that, who the sponsors are, and support those businesses, because everybody kind of had a tough time, and they're still supporting.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer Billow, Associate Director at Park City Education Foundation, for joining us today right here on Park City Television. If you want to learn more about Running with Ed, also about those virtual events or the Education Foundation in general, head to PCEF 4kids.org. We'll be back with more right after this.